Hey everyone. Uh, my name is Jason, and with my partner Kevin, we did a research on the comparison of martial arts centers in Scarborough and North York. What we looked at is the the business models of martial arts businesses in Scarborough and North York, and we analyzed their target audience, how they are managed and ran, and how business is maintained for profit.
First of all, what's martial arts? Martial arts is considered an art system of individual and social training of mind and body, where the primary focus is self-defense, athletics, fitness, and personal improvement. People engage in martial arts in order to implement a healthier lifestyle, which benefits physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is important to understand because it's important why individuals participate in these certain martial arts and why parents choose to send their children to these extracurricular activities and why certain adults also participate in these activities as well. So the hypothesis, initially we predicted that martial arts between the Scarborough region and Norfolk region would be different because of income differences between these areas. But in the end, we actually found out that other demographic factors played a huge role in influence such as age and also family size.
So for the spatial analysis for Scarborough, within Scarborough, we Googled martial arts locations and we found 34 entries of martial arts franchises. Out of the 34 entries, 32 of them had children programs as a way to attract customers, and it was their main focus on websites. Scarborough has a wide diversity, a population that is filled with families with young children looking for extracurricular activities after school, and 17 out of the 34 businesses have both adults and children programs. These programs have classes that are either separate programs for adults and kids or a program for the entire family at usually the same time slots on the same days. We believe this is to maximize the amount of time spent between children and parents. This allows them to build relationships and have quality interaction. Since Scarborough's population demographic tells us that the top languages spoken in Scarborough, aside from English being the main language, over 50%, is Chinese, which is Cantonese or Mandarin, and Tamil. A side thought going into this research project was that these businesses would be mostly Chinese or South Asian related to fit the cultural demands of the area. So businesses like martial arts, kung fu, maybe should be predominant in this area for Scarborough simply because of the population demographics.
Now we look into the spatial analysis for North York. So within North York, Google displayed 45 entries of martial arts franchises, and 15 out of the 45 businesses were more focused on adult programs, while on the other hand, there are only 7 of them that focus more on children programs. We predicted that this is because that North York has a higher household income and has more single adults, which is why they focus more on adult programs compared to more children programs. And as a result, these adults would have more available time and more disposable income to participate in these extracurricular activities, which may explain why there are more martial art franchises in North York than compared to Scarborough. Now we look into the income differences between these areas that we are researching. So according to the 2011 National Household Survey by the City of Toronto Community Council profiles, North York has a higher average household income of around 96,000. On the other hand, Scarborough has a lower average household income of around 72,000 in the year 2010, and the average household income in Toronto is around 87,000. So this shows kind of the difference between Scarborough and North York compared to the city of Toronto, and pretty much this highlights the difference in the different socioeconomic statuses between the two wards and really highlights the reasoning for martial arts businesses to target different audiences and create different pricing structures for these different regions. Yeah. So now we look into the background research. So according to our data, based on Google, Scarborough has 33 martial arts centers, while North York has 46 centers. But even though Scarborough has a bigger geographical area compared to North York still has a higher number of martial arts businesses. This is very unique because, according to a scholar, Esther Brooks et al., physical activity resources were substantially less available to individuals who reside in lower socioeconomic status neighborhoods compared to higher socioeconomic status areas. Therefore, this demonstrates how individuals from lower SES neighborhoods may have limited abilities to participate in these extracurricular activities due to inaccessible environments and restricted resources. And again, this supports our idea as well that Scarborough, since it has a lower income, it means that they probably have less ability and less funds to even participate in these martial arts businesses and martial arts classes compared to North York, which has more disposable income and the right target audience. And additionally, another scholar, McIntyre, highlights an important concept that is closely linked to these ideas. This term, deprivation amplification, indicates that places where people who have fewer personal resources reside often have fewer public resources that may buffer individual deprivation. And our mapping supports this idea by illustrating how there are fewer amount of martial art businesses within Scarborough compared to North York, which has a higher household income than Scarborough. Thus, this highlights how spatial distribution of environmental resources within areas cause socioeconomic status to vary between various types of resources, countries, and time periods.
Annette Laurent, in her research paper on unequal childhoods, looked at families and after-school programs. She noted that middle-class families want to put their children into after-school programs to enhance their knowledge and experiences in life. She also finds in her studies that later in life, these families that she has studied had found that the way of teaching and the way of these middle-class families put their children in extracurricular activities like after-school programs, and in this case, martial arts programs, are appreciated from their children, now teens, and helps shape their lives in the long run. This could be a clue that the reason why martial art businesses are popular, as we will note further on in around school areas, is because of after school programs and the importance of after school programs to middle class families. So this is a mapped out chart map of all the businesses in Scarborough. There are many martial arts businesses that are located extremely close to one another. All of them, of these clusters, are near popular destinations and schools. One reason of this that we discovered is because they are all close to schools, or if they're not close to schools, they are close to public transportation or popular destinations that students can travel to after school easily without their parents necessarily having to take them. Even if they couldn't take them, they could take public transportation, they could walk. It's close, it's accessible.
Yeah, so here's a map of North York, and compared to Scarborough, North York has less business groups that are clustered. This is because adults, they have more freedom and they have more access to different types of transportation, not really related to public transit, and they're just less, more opportunities for them to um, travel to different locations, so it's more dispersed.
So the differences of types of martial arts, based on research, North York has much more adult-focused martial arts centers compared to Scarborough. These would include self-defense, boxing, judo, or Krav Maga. These are usually targeted towards older audiences compared to Scarborough, which has more of a children focus businesses with Taekwondo, martial arts centers leading the count. Also, the words on the North York websites use more mature wording of self-improvement, conditioning, strength, and have more pictures of adults with more muscular physiques being displayed. This is a marketing technique to attract older customers, adults, to try out their businesses. On the other hand, Scarborough websites have more family-oriented focuses, more fun pictures, more younger children pictures, more family and group classes displayed in their websites. This is a way to market towards a younger audience, especially for after school programs. So, for coding analysis in Scarborough, according to these charts, Scarborough martial arts business have an average monthly fee of around $68 per month and a yearly price of $775 per year. Notice that out of 33 businesses, only 6 of them had prices listed on their sites. This was also, we believe, a marketing strategy because marketing, you want the children to attend your businesses for free trials, and once children partake in free trials, they usually will have a better experience than just looking at pictures on websites. So by not listing their prices on websites, this gives a way for martial arts businesses to attract customers into their stores. Uh, as you can see in the chart, it says 22 free trials were offered on websites out of 33 businesses. That is 66% of businesses in Scarborough offering free trials. We believe, like we said before, this is a marketing plan to get children to come to their businesses to try it out and therefore attract them. Therefore, Scarborough may target lower income individuals based on the lower prices as well of martial arts programs.
Yep. So now for the coding analysis for North York. So compared to Scarborough, North York, the businesses have an average monthly price of around $175 and a yearly price of around $1,043. As a result, this is a big contrast between Scarborough with the overall pricing of the two areas, and this can be attributed to the different socioeconomic status. And the difference in these average household incomes is one of the main reasons why these martial arts centers, specifically in North York, may target these higher income individuals, which is really reflected in the higher prices of these programs. And also compared to Scarborough, even though North York does have 43 businesses compared to 33, only 13 free trials are offered on the websites for North York. So it shows you how, even though they don't offer as many free trials compared to Scarborough, that they still do really well and charge a bit higher, which may be reflected why these individuals they basically have enough money to even go attend these classes even without the free trials.
So the findings we had is martial arts businesses featured many clumps in areas for Scarborough, in which multiple stores are seen within one area. This is a trend that is noticed more in Scarborough than in North York, and we believe that this is the effect of building after-school programs. Like Annette Laurent said in her 2011 research paper, middle-class families want to put their children into after-school programs to enhance their knowledge and experiences in life. Families that she has studied has found that the way of teaching and the way that these middle class families put their children in extracurricular activities like after school programs are appreciated from the children who are now teens, and it helps shape their lives in the long run. We believe that most parents understand the benefits of after school extracurricular activities, so in turn they send their children to after school classes, and in this case martial arts classes. At the same time, martial arts businesses that are in areas closer to schools or closer to public transportation will set their prices slightly lower to accommodate families, thus, in turn, help them attract more customers and gain them more profit in the long run. We also notice business hours in Scarborough cater more towards uh, after school times for business that are located beside schools, usually set right after school is dismissed, the business would open. The sole business model of these businesses is to cater to children after class. Unlike North York, you would see more businesses that are open in longer periods of time, open 24/7, open after work for people to attend, thus attracting an older audiences. For business prices, prices for businesses besides schools were cheaper than the ones that were more in standalone areas, and prices in Scarborough were on average cheaper than North York. We believe that this is an social economic status difference to accommodate with Scarborough citizens' families earning less money than North York families. Uh, there were no conclusive evidence that cultural and social areas had anything to do with what types of martial arts and businesses there were in the area, with both sampled locations having diverse martial arts. And in conclusion, what was thought to be potential cultural differences in different areas influencing the types of businesses that were in these locations didn't show any conclusive evidence. What this research did show was the huge influence of after school programs and the motives of most martial arts businesses, especially in Scarborough, in both sampled areas. For Scarborough, they would be targeting after school programs. In North York, they would be targeting more older audiences after work. Uh, Both areas were, for the most part, trying to cater to kids or children looking for after school programs to do. And the prices of the packages offered in these families all depend on the money made on average from families in each specific area. And for future recommendations for further research, we would hopefully want to analyze other areas to see if these trends are prevalent within distinguishing socioeconomic areas or cities. And also at the same time, perhaps other areas have more cultural targeting businesses that we did not find in Scarborough and North York.